We're here at VeeamON 2017, and I'm speaking with Andy Vandeveld, who's the VP of Strategic Alliances. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about your role as
Sure.
VP of Strategic Alliances?
Yeah, so I've been with Veeam about 18 months now. I run an organization that's responsible for managing our relationships with our largest partners, technology partners. So, you know, VMware, Microsoft, HPE, Cisco, NetApp, etc. And then we also have lower level of partnerships with other partners that have made commitments to to Veeam, and that we've made commitments back to them, but the relationship isn't quite a global strategic alliance.
Sure.
So we run this whole organization. Some of it's a little bit programmatic for some of the lower level partners, and then more of a direct managed relationship with our strategic alliance partners.
Okay. And during the keynote today, they talked about some of your relationships with Microsoft, and obviously VMware is a
Right.
big partner as well. Can you tell me more about the partnerships related to
sure.
the announcements today?
Well, yeah, so, you know, our business got started backing up VMs. So necessarily had a relationship with VMware. And you know, the relationships expanded over time, and vendors' activities and initiatives around virtual machines increased over time. So you saw Microsoft get into the market with Hyper-V as another hypervisor to, you know, sort of a corollary to VMware. And you know, these virtualization platforms are the things that we, you know, get up every day and think about and protect.
Right.
And so these relationships with VMware and with Microsoft are essential to our business. You know, we had a few announcements today. We'll have a few more announcements. I would say our relationship with Microsoft is growing from not just backing up virtual machines through Hyper-V, but also becoming extremely important around Azure and cloud, because, you know, as customers are moving their workloads from on-premise to cloud or hybrid or private cloud, I mean, there are a bunch of different consumption models. We need to accommodate that customer consumption. The customer will decide the consumption. We just need to be able to accommodate it and to back it up and to protect that data and make sure that it's available to the business when it needs it.
And what about like your storage partners? I know you talked about AWS a little bit in the keynote, but I guess NetApp is another one, right?
Well, NetApp and HPE and Cisco with their S-Series storage. We announced also today the universal API that we'll be releasing with our version 10. We collaborated with IBM and Lenovo and Infinidat to develop that API. So we have a strong group of storage vendors, the ones in the market that you see, you know, as the leaders in storage.
Right.
Some of those relationships are a little more intense than others at different points in their maturity, and that's fine. But you know, these relationships are critical to our success, because, you know, that's where data protection plays. And you know, and we're starting to see other partners emerge, like a Pure Storage. We still have a very good relationship with Nimble, which was acquired by HPE. So now we've got this great relationship with HPE that includes the Nimble component of that business. You know, and these are relationships that we just continue to develop and to expand on. There will be other partnerships that we'll put in place that may or may not be storage vendors. They may be other adjacencies as we develop our corporate strategy.
Right.
But you know, it really has started with VMware and Microsoft, and then with the storage vendors.
And do you see any more partnerships starting with, now that you're supporting Linux and more physical computers as well as just the virtual? Do you think that's going to expand your partnerships?
I think that, yeah, I think that does give rise to the potential for expanding out into partnerships that we haven't had in the past. I think that, as well as, we're seeing things with GDPR, the data protection requirements in Europe, that span not just data protection but security, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to necessarily create a need for us to have relationships with security vendors, things that we haven't had in the past. So I think there are a few different categories of partners that we haven't had traditionally, but we'll need to have a relationship with them. I would also say, as we move up further and further into the enterprise segment, which is a very high focus area for us, we see that a lot of growth in the company coming from that segment of the market. Relationships with systems integrators who are the trusted advisors in those enterprises is a category of partnerships that we need to build out further. So I think we've got a lot of strong partnerships around storage and around hypervisor and around the cloud providers. But there are also some other areas where we're going to have to start to focus a little bit more as well.
Well, great. Well, thanks for taking the time to speak with VMblog, and I wish you well for the rest of your show.
Well, thank you very much. Glad to have you here.